This is Subarctic beekeeper, one of the many. It is second week of September. I'm checking in on this hive. We want to add some food. Check and see how they're doing. You'll notice I have a wool blanket over it, and that is because they are great for keeping things warm and reflecting moisture back in the form of heat. Learned that in Scotland from a dear beekeeper named Anne Chilcott, who does a blog called The Bee Listener. Well worth a listen, well worth a read. Very knowledgeable. I've got 2 boxes on this hive. Why do I have 2 boxes this late in the season? One might ask, if you're from the north, anyway. Because I want this hive that is high production to produce extra frames of stores for me. For the hives that don't produce enough stores or reserves to get through the winter. I've still got a feeder on it, and I've still been feeding them pollen patties, dry pollen, and fondant. Honey's been pulled long ago, so there's no honey to be pulled. So I'll do a quick check. Check my mite board. I've got some, I don't know if you can see them, ripped open caps, which tells me something's been in the hive and ripped those caps open. And so I'm going to take a picture with my phone so I can record it in my records. And also so I can blow up this board later and see if I see any mites. I don't see any right now. I'm going to scrape it off. This board I don't care for. It is one that I purchased. It's just a piece of cardboard that's got a coating on it. It's got a grid so that you can count for your mite load. I don't want any mite load going into winter, because our winters can be 6-7 months long. So I'm actually going to turn it over and use the white side and carry on. I'm in the feeder. Been feeding the bees 2 to 1, 2 cups sugar, 1 cup water. And one of the things that can happen is if you don't melt all the sugar well enough, you're going to get some clogs. I swear to you. The sugar will crystallize and block everything up, particularly if it's chilly outside. Alright, I'm going to have to smoke this top bees. As usual, my smoker and I will really just need to either get into some relationship counseling or split up. Is not cooperating with me. Or I'm not cooperating with it. Whichever. But I'm going to have to pull this little feeder lid off. I'm going to have to clean out this feeder. Always expect to have to do things you're not expecting to do. Like buy a new smoker. Alright. I'm going to drive these bees into the hive. The reason I am using the smoker, you hear me pressing it so much, is because there's really not much smoke coming out of there. That is probably because of the creosote buildup, I would guess. I'm going to open the feeder. Got some good propolis in there. Always great. I pulled the queen excluder the last time I was in this hive. Why did I do that? Because I want the bees off of the lid. I've got another lid right here, the lid for the hive. And I'll lay this top box on there. I want to check and see if they are putting up some stores. I don't see any signs of food here. I don't want to lay my hive box on the ground because I don't want to lose any bees. Also, like I said, the queen excluder is gone, so I don't want to crush the queen. My fire-breathing dragon maybe isn't awake yet. I've got fuel in here. Stick my plastic glove in there, see if it melts. Not a good idea. It is an art, the smoke. It's an art. It's an art I have not mastered yet. I'm going to leave this in the video because this will happen. I'm not going to edit it out. So you can see the quick, the dirty, the ugly, the beautiful, etc. I need this smoke because it's 50 degrees out, Fahrenheit, this morning. Time I usually look at the bees, unless I happen to have an afternoon away from the job that pays the bills. Need some lighter fluid, eh? So I was always running on a schedule, so I need to have my objectives ready. Looking for wasps, also looking for stores. Looking at their behavior, they're moving kind of slow. So there's not a lot in here in terms of stores. So I'm going to add some food. There's nothing in the environment for them. Going down to the first box, this is really light. I'd like this to be pretty heavy by now. Oh, I didn't take the queen excluder off. This is one of the ones I replaced with a plastic queen excluder. I find that if my smoker isn't working great and I put it on the side, that smoke builds up a little better. So I've got pollen patty, hive alive. As usual, I want to load them up. I don't want to be out here every day. I'm going to do it right on this table. Bees are here, but they're a little bit chilled, so they're calm and going down to the bottom where it's warmer, which is great. Got my syrup. I've got to clean out that feeder, scrape out those dead bees. And scrape out that solidified sugar. You can kind of see here, it's yellow. Why is it yellow? Because of all the fun things I put into it. The Hive Alive is yellow. There's lemon juice. There's spearmint oil. There is lemongrass oil. Lecithin granules. And even though they're dead, I don't want to crush them. I just want to get them out of there so that I can add the feed and the bees can access it. We have wasps. They've been hanging around, smart wasps. They tend to last a lot longer than the bees do in terms of temperature. They're much more cold hardy, that's for sure. I'm going to put my lid back on. I'm going to lift this queen excluder and put some Hive Alive in there. Push it down. Add my pollen patty. Put the second feeder on, or the second deep rather, and I'm going to put Hive Alive and pollen patty on that as well. We're in the second week of September, so there's still obviously nothing for them in the environment. There's not going to be. Flattening down my pollen patty. I'll add a little bit of syrup to make it a little more squishy for them, a little more digestible. That didn't work. Got my smoker going. Great. Give them just a puff. They're all down low anyway. But I want to keep them low. I don't want anyone to interfere with this feed. I really want to get in there, and I want to get in there relatively quick. Right over the brood nest, which would be in the center. I put the pollen patty on first because they're not so much into the pollen patty, they're much more into the Hive Alive fondant. And I'll use my hive tool to scrape this off. It's kind of stiff right now. And I'll work it in over here. Bees are coming up to feed. I want to get them down. Screw it. Sometimes you just gotta say screw it. Can you hear them humming? Probably not. They're humming very contentedly. I would expect this to be all eaten up in the next 2 days. So like I said, I'm using this hive to produce some stores or reserves for winter, not only for them, but also for the other colonies. And I'm going to lift this hive in a minute. I'll do it right now. Oh, it's heavy. It's not 100 pounds, but it's heavy. Bees are hungry. I don't want to squish anybody. And I'm going to just drizzle some happiness for them on the frames, and then put that second box back on here, close it up, and be done with this hive. Add the feeder, of course, add some syrup. I don't want anyone to get squished. My smoker's not working. These bees are looking to me very expectantly. Got them on. Push the frames down. Yes, my hand was right near the bees. They're not being aggressive right now, so I'm not worried about being stung. So, overwintering bees. Do you want to talk about overwintering bees while I do this? It is practical, easy to do, cost effective. I want to bang these bees into this box so don't squish anybody. Colonies build up faster when you overwinter. You get more honey when you overwinter. So even though there's no brood nest in here, I still want to feed these bees. All these bees. Nurse bees, worker bees, well, they're the same. But they're at different stages of their lives. Overwintering bees. Why wouldn't you? Bees are livestock. They're not disposable. They're not something we should be killing. God knows that, eh? I think I've talked about this before. There's a long-standing myth up in Fairbanks. It started on the 80s in Fairbanks in the interior of Alaska, which is a pretty rough environment in terms of weather, that one has to kill their bees before winter and after pulling honey. People have been wintering bees for over 100 years in the interior of Alaska, in root cellars, basements, coated with insulation, etc. So the people that have been promoting killing bees have either been ignorant or lying, or a combination of both. Because it's pretty well known that many of us overwinter our bees. We are a culture, if you will, that still relies heavily on word of mouth. We know our history, we learn it in school, history of Alaska, etc. And so we're well aware of the grit people have here, and also the innovativeness. And we learn the cool things as well as the uncool things. You know, who brought bees up where? Rika's Roadhouse in Delta Junction, etc. But some people have been telling others, and it's been going on for a good 40 years? 40 years, oh my God. You can destroy a culture in 40 years. That you gotta kill bees, and then people spread that rumor, and then people assume it to be true. Isn't that the way disinformation travels? People assume it to be true. They don't check facts. They just believe what they're told. So it's been going on for about 40 years up here. Very frustrating. It really does a disservice to all of us because new beekeepers buy bees and bring them up, and that's all good. We need that service. We certainly don't need 3,000 new packages of bees in Fairbanks alone. Because those bees that come up from California have varroa mites, they have nosema, they have acute bee paralysis virus, they have the Israeli virus, they have deformed wing virus, and they bring it up. And we are isolated enough where we could stay clean of all those things. But the people who sell bees, and not all of them, promote that idea that you got to kill bees before winter. Those diseases and stuff that I mentioned are highly infectious and spread from colony to colony. What that means is even though I treat my bees and take care of their health, if your bees aren't treated and taken care of, they'll come to my apiary and infect my bees. And then we have lots of problems. So the next time you hear someone say they had to kill their bees, let them know that's not true. That's all for today. I hope you have a great day. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of your bees. Ukraine is winning. This video is copyrighted and all rights reserved. Until next time, bye.